Pro Wrestling Reflection presents PWR at the Movies. Join the Professor, Tommy Wonder, and JB as they discuss the greatest pro wrestling moments in movie history.
Honey, would you make me some coffee and maybe a piece of toast?
It's honey, do this. Honey, do that. I'm tired of being taken for granted around here.
Okay, wise guy, just go see who's at the door.
Hi there, little girl. Is your mother home?
Yes.
Vicky, who's at the door?
Hailing from San Diego, California, weighing at 247 pounds, Jesse the Body Ventura!
I see your little girl's a wrestling fan.
Yes. Vicky, would you go and put away the groceries? Can I help you?
By any chance, is your name Joan Anderson?
Well, it was before I got married.
I knew it was you, Joni. I saw you at the shopping mall while I was signing autographs. But you left so fast, all I could do was follow you home. You're as pretty as ever.
Why, thank you. Do I know you?
Here's a hint. Rah, rah, rah. Sis, boom, ba. Scally-wally, bulldog, bow, wow, wow.
That's one of my old college cheers.
Here's another hint. I was 92 pounds of tall, thin, quivering, cowardly flesh.
Oh, one more hint.
You used to give me mercy dates.
Oh, no! Wally Crandall?
All 92 quivering pounds of me. I'm surprised you didn't recognize me.
Wally, you've grown. Please, come on in.
Thanks.
She's the small wonder.
What is going on there, Reflection Nights? What is going on there to the Vetoites, the HAMINites, and the probationary solitary confinement PWCites? What is going on to all the ites all over the world? The Israeliites, the Iranianites, the Russianites, the Ukrainites, the Republites, the Demites, all the crazyites all over the world. What's going on to the Magnificent Seven? You know who you are. And of course, shout out to the 176. That's right, TW. One more jumped on the bandwagon. 176 subscribers on the Pro Wrestling Reflection YouTube channel. We're 24 away from the elusive 200. So tell a friend to subscribe to the PWR podcast on the YouTube channel at Pro Wrestling Reflection. But before we do that, I must introduce myself because I am vain like that. I must introduce myself because, TW, I was looking in the mirror and I looked up. I was like, oh my God, I got the grays in my nose. Literally, the grays in my nose.
That's cocaine residue.
No, I wish it was cocaine because then you know, I'd be jittery, I'd be happy, I'd be doing a lot of stupid stuff. But it was grays in my nose. I had to, pluck it out and shit like that. And it was just so bad, so bad. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm the charismatic one. I'm the effervescent one. But most importantly, I am the glorious one. The only objective member in this IWC, YWC, PWC punditry. The only objective man in this Twitterverse. The only objective man in this political hemisphere. And the only objective man who actually will admit I did not stay up until 12:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time watching an AEW pay-per-view. I got the My AEW app, so I will watch the replay at my earliest convenience because you know what? I gotta go to work in the morning. Tony Khan, you gotta understand something. Just because you offer more wrestling doesn't mean I have to see it all goddamn night. Make sure it's a nice 4 hours, 7 to 11, 6 to 10. I can take that. But not no fucking 8 to almost 1 in the morning, Tony. What's going on with you?
That's
You
still
can't
only
have
4 hours.
Yeah, but you can't end a pay-per-view at 12:45 in the morning.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
and
just
that at 11 like they always used to do.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I'm your friend of mine, the Professor Chabelle Cruz. I'm not here alone. No. I'm here with my brother from another mother, the conservative liberal, the liberal conservative, the solo idiot, Dr. Freakenstein, Mr. Wonderful, the Iron Stomach one, and the undisputed, undeniable Detroit Rock City Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. What the hell is that? That's the Undertaker.
That's me.
Oh, that's you. I saw the Undertaker garb on the left.
That's a garbage can.
Oh, that's a garbage can?
It's ECW Tommy Wonder right there.
You know from a far away because remember I don't have my glasses on. That shit
It looks like the Undertaker's ministry.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Tommy Wonder, how you doing, my friend?
I mean, horrible. Because my dog jumped off the damn top of the couch and landed on my leg, and there's 2 holes, which means his paw must have went in and out like a eyebrow piercing. It hurts too. But not only that, you see this jersey?
Mm-hmm.
I got this jersey yesterday. It's sewn on too, by the way. It says 26 on the back.
It's nice.
It's Toy Story. Toy Story 5, see? Cool. Yeah, I bought these tickets. I'm getting the lay of the land for Tiger Stadium or Comerica Park, soon to be Fifth Third Park, which is dumb. Next year will be 20 years since it's been around in Comerica Park, or 2000s. But next year's the last year of the 20-year lease, which makes you feel old as shit, by the way.
Yes.
Yesterday, somebody tagged me in something. Kiss's reunion concert in Detroit, Michigan at Tiger Stadium was 30 years ago yesterday. And that makes I'm like, fuck, I was only 22. But
Jesus.
And it's just nuts how time flies by. But this jersey I got on the 3rd day of 3 Tigers games in 5 days. And you probably have noticed I've not posted about fucking any of them because A, they fucking lost all 3 of them. And then after losing 2 in a row, the next day in the fucking 2nd inning, it's 8-0 Tigers. I'm like, you motherfuckers. They scored more runs in 1 inning in Friday's game than they did the 2 games I went to combined. Then I didn't go Saturday either. They were up 3-0. They put the stat up that if AJ Hinch beats Houston, he'll be only the 5th or 6th coach, Billy Martin's one of them, to get his 1,000th victory against his former team. So I'm like, they jinxed him. And they were up 3-0 when they did it, and they fucking lost. And yesterday, once again, up 3-0, and they lost. They gave up a grand slam in extra innings, and then came halfway back and then struck out with bases loaded. They're fucking bums. They're absolutely bums.
You know what? On my end, we had a terrible weekend too. We got swept by the Red Sox. They're last place. It's embarrassing. The Yankees got swept by the Red Sox. Yeah. Not like the first place Red Sox where I could be like, okay, you know, the battle, the one-upsmanship.
Where was it?
Last place. In Boston.
That's better then. You don't want them swept at home.
I don't want them swept at all. I'm just saying. It's just
so Detroit beat the Yankees last week in the first game, and then lost the next 3, and then or 2.
And then they got
3 games the Yankees, and then they get fucking beat 3 out of 4 games against Houston.
Well, you know, the Detroit Tigers are the Danhausens of baseball. You got us cursed. That's what happened right there. So, you know, before we get into our episode, you know, sometimes we talk about what's going on today. So we'll only talk about one big thing, TW, because I don't want to talk about every pay-per-view. But one of the biggest things that happened this weekend was the first Muslim WWE champion in history was crowned in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn is the new champion, the new undisputed champion.
Jinder's not Muslim?
No, he was Canadian.
Hindu. What the fuck? What?
He's Canadian.
Canadian are not comparable.
No, he's not. He's Canadian.
Canadian is a fucking nationality or a citizenship. It's not a fucking religion or a fucking race. Neither is the United States. And he's Hindu, I think, actually, because he's from India. Well, his people are from
I'm just saying what everybody's saying.
I didn't know he's Canadian.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah,
guy. I met him at the MLP. He was a nice guy. Team player. I have a question for you, though, really quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a fucking comment. You were about to talk about. You talk about. I got some shit to say about Sami Zayn, but I wanna hear what you.
No, I'm saying that the big thing is the first Muslim WWE champion, and he's got the better go. He's got
here's my problem. Here's my problem.
There's a problem with Sami Zayn being that.
When they first went to Saudi Arabia, he was one of the loudest fucking cucks to say, "I'm not going there. I'm not fucking going there." And then one by one, everyone who said they wouldn't go there went there. CM Punk did it. I want to say AJ Styles might have been one. No, AJ went there because he wrestled Brock. No, he lost the belt. No, he took the belt from Jinder and then fought Brock in a pretty awesome underdog match. He got beat, but remember that first? I think that was the first one.
That was Survivor Series, yeah.
Yeah, but it was in Saudi.
Nope, that was in the States.
Oh yeah, it was brand thing. It was a brand versus brand. But anyway. There was a bunch of people who said they wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia. It's blood money. They don't treat women right. Blah, blah, blah. But every time WWE's on there, they've improved somewhat on their human rights. Like women can drive now. Holy fuck. I didn't even know they couldn't drive, right? But all this shit, they couldn't go to the movies. They couldn't. All this stuff is coming around, and the WWE was there to help make it happen, right? It started right around the time.
Progress is not overnight, Reflection. Right, progress is slow and steady.
But also, I heard that one of the reasons why Sami didn't go there is because he's Syrian, and Saudi Arabia and Syria are not friends. And that if he went there, there was the fear that they would keep him because he's supposedly Syrian, but he's not. He's Canadian, based on your logic. But but if there's ever a time you can say a motherfucker sold out, it's Sami Zayn. Because he talks all his shit, won't go there, blood money this, blood money that. And not only does he go there, but he wins his first unlikely ever World Heavyweight Championship in the fucking country. And by the way, every time I've seen him in Saudi Arabia, that entire place cheered for him. So the whole fear of them murdering him because he's Syrian, it's just more fucking soapbox shit. But granted, if I thought some motherfuckers gonna kidnap me and keep me because their country didn't like my country of origin, I wouldn't fucking go either. But inevitably he did. So am I happy for the guy? Yeah. I wasn't the biggest Sami fan. I'm still not. But he won me over with the bloodline. That's why I have. Look, let me show you what I did yesterday.
What did you put Sammy's head on somebody? Oh, you did Sami? Okay. The honorary Oos.
My front row is all the current champions. Well, if I have them. I don't have the Street Profits, so the belts are still on Bronson and Austin Theory. Or Brock and Austin Theory. Braun, whatever the fuck his name is.
I know what you're talking about.
But Cody don't have his belt. R-Truth and Damian Priest got the tag belts. Roman's got his belt. Rhea's got her belt. I don't have I do have a Trick Williams. I think I'm going to open it.
Let me just say this. I'm not defending Sami Zayn.
Right.
And I'm not defending like whatever political, position he had. But whatever happened, TW, and this is not about Sami, this is just about life in general, right? What you thought maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, after maybe research, after life experience, you change your position. Or things get better. Why can we ever accept that? But we always go back to 15 years to 20. Tribalism, I know.
Word. Tribalism.
Yes.
And the sad part is, and I'm sure there's some on the fucking right that do it, not nearly at the fucking rate that I see and experience on a daily basis. Liberals think here's what Dan Bongino always says. Conservatives think liberals are good people with bad ideas. Liberals think conservatives are the devil. That's the problem. And so what's happening now, like you just said, over 10, 15 years, now what's happening is the whole bashing of straight white Christian men for the last 10 years. People are finally like, fuck you. I'm not taking it anymore. A liberal male takes it and fucking says, you're right, I'm a piece of shit. And all these young kids coming up, these 18, 19, 20-year-olds are like, fuck you. If you're going to tell me I'm a piece of shit, because of the fucking way I was born, according to them. I was born a straight white male. There's nothing I can do to change that, right? I'm not gonna flip a coin and just start chugging cock. I was born straight, right? Born gay, Professor, and that's okay. But at the end of the day,
Colin's been wondering about you. Colin's been wondering about you more than me.
Colin are talking about buttholes and handling meat.
To you, not to me. To you.
You too. He said he just got a job handling meat, but he still doesn't handle more than you and the other guy that we do this show with. But at the end of the day, you're going to only have, and we're going on, I would like to say it started before 2016. So we'll say 2012. From 2012 on, there's just been this whole, if you're a Republican, you're a piece of shit and you should die. And you can only do that for so long before the people that laugh at you and blow it off start fucking throwing fire back. And that's where we're at. I don't do it. I have tons of family and friends that are liberals. I'm never, ever going to fucking stop talking to them because they don't vote like me. But guess what? I got a few of them I can never do that to test the theory because they've already stopped talking to me. Not because we had a falling out, not because we did anything, just because I don't vote like them. I know. It's embarrassing. And most of the people that do this are either very fucking old and fucking losing their minds or very young and stupid. And like you said, those younger ones, 10 years from now, go talk to them. I bet you they have a different outlook on life once they've gone through this shit that they think is a good idea. And then they find out, whoa, what do you mean you're taking more money from me? I can't have that.
One more thing. 30 seconds, but let's get back to Sammy on this. And let's forget about the political stuff. The one caveat of Sammy Reflection Nights is he's the everybody wrestler. And what I mean is he looks like your mechanic. He looks like the janitor. TW, what say you about that? Does that sell? Does that give you tickets? Is that draw money?
No.
The everyman wrestler.
What he is, this popped in my head as I'm talking. He is, and I thought when I looked at him, first of all, I'm happy for him, right? I feel like he was trying to make himself cry, but I also believe it's because he had real emotion, right? And it has to have crossed his mind, holy fuck, I did this in Saudi Arabia, the place I said I'd never go, right? The irony. And we all know he's getting squashed by Oba. He's going to be a transition champion. But when I saw him with the belt, first thought was good for him. Because I thought, as much as they talk about he's never been world champion, blah, 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 I've always felt like they did that because they planned on putting the belt on him eventually. I didn't think it was going to be beating Roman, but I just thought one day, they got 2 world titles. They can do it, and both of those belts change like hot potatoes. I was really happy, not only for him, but for this guy right here. I was really happy that he pinned Cody because you don't want because that's the leading up to it. Sammy's going to win, but he's going to pin Gunther because they don't want Cody to get beat. Or Oba doesn't beat Cody, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm glad he pinned Cody. I'm glad I like his, I didn't know because I haven't been watching wrestling, but I like the last real good guy. I like that. And it sounds like he's setting up for a heel turn. But he's being more like Brett before Brett went full heel, where he was just like, well, fuck you. You're okay. Fuck you.
With the deal in Saudi, he could get cheered there, and then he could get booed in the States, so it could work out there.
So here's what I think he is, besides obviously a transition champion. He's a Timu Bryan Danielson. I can't believe I just called him Bryan Danielson, because I almost didn't get the last name, because I'm like, what's the rest? But he's a Timu Daniel Bryan, right?
I give you A for effort, at least saying it that way.
Yeah, but that's what he is. And I'm saying Daniel Bryan on purpose, because that's where it happened, is as Daniel Bryan. He's not as over, but he has the same look, except for the one difference is Daniel Bryan looks like he's worked out before. The other guy doesn't. So other than that, they're very similar. Like he's a Timu Daniel Bryan, but he's a fucking the other one. What's the other one? Sheen version of Dusty Rhodes. They're the common man, right? But without nearly the charisma of Dusty.
Well, Sammy had his moments, like you said, in the Bloodline.
He was awesome in the Bloodline. When he was Bloodline honorary Oos, he popped me every week. I thought that's his best stuff. And I'm, like I said, I'm happy because Kevin Owens has one too, right?
What?
World title.
Yeah, he was a Universal Champion.
Did he beat AJ or Cena?
He beat Rollins.
Seth, yeah. Fucking, that's another thing. I know we said 30 seconds. Does that guy have to win every fucking match?
We're not even talking about that.
He could take a year off, and we'd all be better for it, including him. just go somewhere. He's just not. Good Lord. Anyways, we can't talk about the WWE and not talk about what was AEW called, All Over or All Over Again. What was this? Was this their big one?
Sounds like that butthole porn you and Colin been watching, but it was AEW Forbidden Door.
Oh, that was Forbidden Door?
Mm-hmm.
Who
With
did
the
they have
cage.
that wasn't supposed to be there?
With the cage, remember?
Was it Blood and Guts?
No, it was just the circular cage, not the blood and guts.
There's
Not
a
the two.
circular cage?
Mm-hmm.
Like the War Game? Or
This is a great example of reflection. Like, he does not watch wrestling. I do.
I saw a clip of Will Ospreay and Swerve do 117 moves and reversals and 0 selling. That's what I saw.
And you know what happens? Dave Meltzer will say that's 5 stars. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's a fucking 5-star circus act. That's what it is. It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's subjective. See, you're old. You're too old. That's what it is.
I want to say this. If All Over or Forbidden Door, whatever it's called, if that was yesterday, that was also NXT on CW, wasn't it?
Yeah, Great American Bash and also TNA's Slammiversary. Yeah.
They all 3 were at the same time?
No, TNA was first, and then CW and the AEW was at the same time.
What time did... Oh, okay. And did you hear, sadly, Joe Doring passed away, and I met Joe Doring, and my buddy Jeff is in his second bout with cancer, and reading his post just breaks my heart because he signed off with "I'll see you soon, Joe." I don't like reading that, but I had a
it was a very somber tribute to Joe Doring on TNA, so they started with Cody Deaner.
My first, I met Cody Deaner a bunch of times too. He's a nice guy. I met Joe Doring the first time and was not a fan. Inevitably, it was fine. He didn't know who I was, thought I was just some mark in the locker room, and made a comment and walked away. And I was like, the fuck's his problem? I don't. But he was Jeff's roommate for 5 years, and I got not really hang out with him. He sucks to himself, but I got to see him over the years in a different light than that first one. And I tell you what, man, between Johnny Bravo, Scott D'Amore, Jeff, Bronson Reed, so many people saying so many nice things about the guy. We were all pulling for him. 44 is too young, man. It's too young, and it really hits home when you see your buddies who actually, rolled with him, and rode down the highways with him, and just it's hard, man. And it sucks because when you got a buddy that's fighting it, and the last thing you want is for his buddy losing his battle and it making him lose his, mojo. So I hope that.
Sometimes the impact, Reflectionites, that you have in the business of professional wrestling, and TW will attest to this. It's not about how many tickets you sell. It's the impact you make behind the scenes, just like he's talking about. Jeff Kavanaugh, Scott D'Amore, Johnny Bravo. That's a circle of a brotherhood right there that is so close to Joe Doring, rest in heaven, that it really makes it all worth it. And Cody Deaner's tribute to start the pay-per-view was a very somber moment. So I can't say nothing. So rest in heaven to Joe Doring. And we'll dedicate this episode of the PWR podcast at the HAMIN Media Group at PowBeam.com to the memory of Joe Doring.
And when he first got his cancer the first time, he was not supposed to ever wrestle again. And he came back, man. And the slogan is "Fight Like Joe." And that's what I want Jeff to do, is to fight like Joe. Because he got 5 more years that he wouldn't have got if he didn't fight.
That's all you can ask. So I'm sure he will do that for Joe. Fight like Joe. So with that being said, TW, let's get on with this show, which will be a nice, we'll go back. This is what we do, Reflectionites. The nostalgia of us that we grew up with this makes us with a little tear in our eyes. But it's a tears of happiness. It's a tears of joy. It's tears of remembering the innocence of our youth, TW. So we're going to go back to the movies to a degree, but we're going to go back to, talk about a syndicated comedy half-hour show that lasted for 4 years, but it made an indelible mark in Hollywood. It made an indelible mark in TV because you know what? With my little apps, TW, with my third-party apps, I watch a couple of these episodes here and there. So with that being said, we're going to talk about a cult classic comedy show, Reflection Nights, called Small Wonder. So, TW, before we even get into the episode, we got to remember Small Wonder was about, a 11-year-old girl who was a robot named Vicky, and all the comedy ensued. Nobody knew that Vicky was a robot. They played it off. Only white people could do this. White people played off a robot as their own girl, as their own daughter, TW. So, what was the girl's name? Let me just get that.
Harriet. Vicky's the robot, but Harriet was onto her. She was trying to bust her for being.
Yeah, Harriet was on her, but I'm talking about the Vicky was played by Tiffany Brissett.
Yeah.
And she played it, again, they played it off like she was an 11-year-old girl, but she was the robot, and she had feats of strength, the strength of 100 men and all that stuff. So TW, this is a quirky comedy that you and I grew up with on syndicated television. So I think I saw Small Wonder probably on the weekends, prime time, if I had it. Maybe it was like on, before Channel 5 became Fox. It was like syndicated shows, or Channel 9 here, so in the New York area. So what say you about Small Wonder, the comedy show?
So my first thought was, I had never seen this shit in my life. I did remember.
You are lying.
85, brother. I was fucking balls deep and listening to New Edition, Michael Jackson, and Prince. I didn't watch a lot of TV, especially. I remember watching Soap. I remember watching Benson, and I don't remember watching this, but the dad, Ted Lawson, looked familiar to me, and I'm gonna look and see what else he's done. He's born the year my mom was born, but I just thought, I think we were gonna watch Boy Meets World or something. I don't know why the fuck Wonder made me think of that. Or there's because the Wonder Years is his little brother that's on Boy Meets World. So that's why so when it comes out, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Arguably the cheesiest theme song to any show ever.
Of course.
But the dad looked familiar to me. Nobody else did. The brother looked like he probably looked like he grew up. But I just looked, and Vicky, her last role, Tiffany Brissett, is 1990 Wonder. So she left the industry. Good for her. Hopefully that means she's somewhere being a regular person. She's a year and a half younger than me. And then the mom, immediately all I think is, holy shit, she looks like Elizabeth. The whole episode, I just couldn't. She sounded like the mannerisms, everything. She was just Elizabeth with blonde hair instead of darker hair.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I didn't look at her and thought Elizabeth. Marla Pennington, who played Joan Lawson, the wife, she reminded me of Carol Brady a little bit. She reminded me of Florence Henderson.
Why are they all AIDS skinny? Like, she looked like she never ate in her life.
Well, it's the 80s, man. What do you think? Maybe
cocaine?
You live. Yeah, of course. Cocaine, sex, drugs, and rock and roll with all that stuff. So before we get into this episode, Reflection, it's going to be a quick episode because, the World Cup is going on and TW wants to change that Detroit jersey into the U.S. jersey and stuff like that. But we got to talk about the business of wrestling. We always do this. And this is the mid 80s, TW. We are in the thralls of rock and wrestling. And of course, the guy behind my back, no homo, TW, but the guy behind my back, Jesse the Body Ventura, makes a guest cameo appearance. And again, we have to harp on this, TW, the shrewdness, the calculated genius of Vince McMahon to make sure that his wrestlers are going on these shows, are being booked for the comedy sketch shows, are being booked for the late night talk shows, are being booked for the morning talk shows. As quirky as this syndicated comedy series is, TW, you got to give props to Vince McMahon. Yes, yes, we know all the dirty stuff he's done with the text messages and shitting on girls. I got that. But you know what? When he was motivated to take over the world in the 80s, Reflection Nights, this is one of those decisions he was making, TW, making sure that his wrestlers were on these comedy shows. So this way, everybody in Americana knew those three letters, WWF. You've always said it that, Vince McMahon's mission was to make it mainstream. Something that was the dirty word of wrestling for the cigarette smoking males, he turned it family friendly. So what say you, TW, about the genius of Vince McMahon doing this for his rest? Again, we don't know about the pay scales, or maybe he forced these guys to do it and then they get no residuals after that. So we don't know that. So But Vince McMahon had a mission to make sure that WWF was known in the lexicon of Americana.
They get the residuals because it's them that gets the job. So like,
no, Jesse actually teaches you this stuff because he had to do the license, the Screen Actors Guild stuff. Some people did not know how to do this. Jesse learned. So there's a difference.
But I think I told you this before. Jeff Kavanaugh, Mike Legacy, my other tag team partner, and a couple other guys, they did Larry, my buddy Larry Destiny, they did commercials up in Toronto. And at first they weren't going to hire him because they said, we can't hire you because you guys aren't in the Screen Actors Guild. And they're like, well, how do we get into that? Which I don't know if there's a different one for Canada, but they have something like it. It probably isn't because they film a lot of stuff in Vancouver. So it's like Canada's Hollywood. But they got to talking, and the guy goes, well, have you guys been in anything else before? And they're like, no, that's our first commercial. And they're like, well, have you done anything? And they're like, we're professional wrestlers. And they go, hold on. Like, do you ever stand in the ring with a microphone and talk? And we're like, yeah, we do promos. And they're like, how long you been doing it? And they're like, oh, I've been a wrestler for 3 years. I've been a wrestler for 5. They're like, then you welcome to SAG, because they got credit because you had to have so many hours to get a SAG card. And they all got SAG cards because of being professional wrestlers. So, obviously, that was in the 90s. Obviously, maybe Jesse had something to do with that to make it happen. But of course, I know this, when Edge did Highlander Endgame, he got paid by them, not by Vince. And if that movie sells a DVD, he gets a 3-cent residual check in the mail every now and again. Trust me, he ain't selling no damn DVD. That movie's terrible. Next time I saw him, I told him he owed me $5. He's like, look, bro, man, they told me I was making a movie Romania. I thought it was going to be Paradise. He goes, I froze my ass off over there the whole time.
And one more thing, TW, we got to talk about the man who makes this guest cameo appearance, and it is Jesse the Body Ventura. And again, he's getting his feet wet, if you will, in Hollywood, because he's done all these little cameos. He's done all the spots. We talked about the Predator. We talked about the Running Man. We talk about him in Demolition Man. And he had that failed attempt at a cop series with himself and Roddy Poppy. We have done a lot of movie episodes, Reflection Nights, with Jesse the Body Ventura. So, TW, before, again, he knew his time was limited with the injury that he sustained in the field of professional wrestling. But two things happened. Thanks to, again, Vince McMahon, that pedophile man who, shits on girls. But he turned Jesse Ventura into the best play-by-play commentator or play-by-play analyst, whatever you want to call him, in the history. Color analyst in the history of professional wrestling. So Vince McMahon gave him the shot to show his gift of gab. And with that gift of gab, you saw a different side of him that makes him jump to this genre of Hollywood. So what say you about Jesse Ventura? Again, you forgot about the East-West connection. You might have forgotten the wars he had in the AWA with Hulk Hogan. You might have forgot the ill-fated tag team in the WWF before the injury really took its toll on him with himself and Macho Man Randy Savage. They might have been WWF tag team champions if Jesse was very healthy. So what say you, TW, about Jesse the Body Ventura, the whole gambit of his career?
You told me that when he went on this show, he was in the AWA, you lying bastard. Now you hit me with all this. I only know. Well, no, let me rephrase that.
I did not lie about AWA. He was in the East-West connection, the AWA.
No, you said when he went on the show, he was in the AWA. Because I thought, Vince,
no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did last week. Check the tapes. Check the tapes. It might be on the outtakes.
I was talking about the East-West connection in the AWA.
I said to you, I go, I didn't know AWA guys did TV shows. But anyways.
Oh, boy.
I mostly only remember him as the commentator, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's unfair to compare him and Heenan to each other because I think they're different. Even though they're the same in most people's eyes, heel commentators. Bobby was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse was serious, but he just put over the heels and shit on the baby faces. But it wasn't the same. So you could make a case for either one of them to be the best color commentator ever, and you wouldn't be wrong because it's subjective, right? But I think he was the best to just put over heels. Like Heenan did, he put the heels over, but he put them over in a way that you still hated them. Jesse's probably the reason I liked Rick Rude and I liked Macho Man because the stuff he said was true. And you're like, hey. And I think Jesse was the one that said, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. If it wasn't him, it was Bobby. So he made the heels cool. Heenan made the heels more unlikable because he liked them. You hated them, right? But
it's funny you say that because there was a difference even as serious as Jesse was as the heel color analyst, like you're saying, when he was with Gorilla, it was equal because it was almost like debating back and forth. It was like Gorilla took a side and Jesse took a side, but it was never that kind of comedic timing between Gorilla and Bobby.
Yeah.
But Gorilla and Jesse was very serious, and I actually make like WrestleMania 3 Reflection Nights. Really listen to it. They both take their positions, but it's not in a funny way. It's very serious. And I'm looking at look at Hogan and Andre, Gorilla and Jesse. That was some serious shit. Now, if it was Gorilla and Heenan, will you stop? You don't get that with him and Jesse Ventura. You might get a little bit of a jab here and there, but it was so serious.
Him and Vince had that. Vince would tell Jesse to stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good stuff. And like I said, I never realized it until I'm saying it now. He's probably the reason. But I do remember every now and again, I saw, because remember, that's why I know we talked about it, because I talked about how when him and Adrian Adonis were on primetime when I saw them, they recognized them as winning other places without making it out like they're a brand new tag team that no one's ever heard of before. But I would see on primetime wrestling every now and again, they would show a Jesse Ventura match, but it was probably an older match because they would do. Remember, he just recently died, Duke of Dorchester or whatever. He would always have a match from the Boston Garden against Macho Man or somebody, and it would be almost competitive, but he was still a job guy. But most of my memories of Jesse are as a commentator.
Yeah. But again, maybe we might have to do one of those spotlights so this way you could see those matches that he had with Hulk Hogan.
All right.
See those matches that he...
You froze on me, so I was trying to tell you. As soon as I finished, you were froze.
Well,
so what do you say about Hogan?
No, I'm just saying, maybe we should do a spotlight on the wrestling side of Jesse the Body Ventura.
I'd be here for it.
We might have to do that in the coming weeks. So with that being
I'm pointing at that is Jesse the Body Ventura right there.
Okay. Where do you have him?
In the rafters. Him, and then behind him's Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say you had a commentary wing of your Hall of Fame.
I kind of do behind me. I got there's Jesse right there. Look at this. Tell me if you know what this is from.
That's from SummerSlam '99.
Yep.
The Governor.
Yep. So these are all moved around, but I got Nick Aldis, the Fink, Gorilla, Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, Corey Graves, Sam Roberts, and Adam Cole back there. I said Nick Aldis, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Mr. Perfect when he was a commentator. I said Vince, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I got all kinds of commentators, but they're building figures, so I don't separate them. They're with their like that. Jesse, I just showed you, came with Austin, China, Triple H, and Mankind.
All right. So with that being
triple threat match.
Yeah.
Yep.
When Austin was injured, so he had to lose it. So with that being said, let's get into this episode here. Like I said, it's a 30-minute, it's a half-hour comedy show of Reflection Night. So that means it's just 20 minutes with the commercials taken out. So with that being said, we're gonna go back to season 2, episode 21. This is actually from 1987, so this is a couple weeks before WrestleMania 3. So the episode is called Wally the Wimp. So the episode starts very simple, simplistic, TW. It's the family sitting on their couch watching wrestling, and Jesse the Body Ventura is on their TV screen. And the funny thing about this, TW, is the son, because with all these comedy shows, especially in the 80s, when they did kind of like the wrestling theme or the special guest star was a wrestler, you always had to look at the kids. And they always amped up the wrestler, whoever was the guest. And this guy and the kid, what was his name? Jamie. Oh, this was his favorite wrestler of all time. Jesse the Body Ventura, you know, flexing, and then, you know, the wham bam body slam of doom and shit like that. So what say you, TW? Yeah, again, very simplistic, but again, you got to start somewhere.
What I like about it, and I mean, it's funny from us doing this show, I realize wrestlers on way more stuff than I remember. You know what I mean? Like, because if you didn't catch it, you didn't know. I knew they were on Arsenio all the time. I knew Learning the Ropes with Lyle Elzado. I watched that, but they promoted it on WCW Saturday Night. So, but when you see guys like, I knew King Kong Bundy was on Married with Children. I knew Queen Kong was on Married with Children. But stuff like this is cool. But what I like about all of it, all Family Matters we did. I didn't know about that one until you had me watching. I like that they respect the business. They don't say it's fake. They're all into it like it's real sport. And in the opening scene of this, the boy and Vicky are watching it, and the dad comes in, and I'm waiting for the typical, oh, turn that crap off. But the dad is like tuned in and forgets everything else in the world because he's all about it. And then his wife comes in, talks, and he turns into a waitress, and he has no idea that she's trying to talk to him. I like that. Like nobody's shitting on it.
Well, there's a lesson for this because, again, Jesse is part of the lesson because the husband, Ted Lawson, Reflectionites, is taking his wife for granted. The girl that looks like Miss Elizabeth the TW and the girl that looks like Florence Henderson to the Professor, but neither here nor there. But you know what? She got to cook. If she don't cook right, then, you know, you're going to take it for granted. You don't put raisins in the potato salad. That's all I'm saying, TW. But if you do that, I'm going to take it for granted. But neither here nor there. But with that being said, you know, again, Vicky is programmed to imitate certain things. So she is looking on the TV screen, and Jesse the Body is flexing and all that stuff. And Vicky, the only thing I don't like about this show is the dry humor of Vicky.
The acting shit.
Her acting sucks.
Yeah.
And I understand the premise. She's supposed to be a robot. She's supposed to be straight, so she can't laugh. It's just hard. But again, I don't care. I'm fucking 8 years old watching this, and now I'm 49 watching this. I was like, oh God, I cannot take this. I cannot take this acting. It just sucks to me. I'm sorry. But TW, what say you about Vicky?
So funny enough, because I've been reading the IMDb while we're here. The last thing either kid did and the mom was this show. And you'd say it ran 4 seasons, right?
85 to 89, yeah.
Yeah. So 89. So he did Mr. Belvedere 1 episode in 88 and Highway to Heaven in 86. But for the most part, when this show ended, so did that Jamie kid's career, so did Vicky's career, so did the mother's career. But the guy, the dad, he's been on The Bold and the Beautiful all the way up until at least last year from like 2018. And then I was looking through, he was on Days of Our Lives. So he's a soap opera actor that got a sitcom. He got a sitcom, but it's crazy. And I didn't look up Harriet. I want to see if she's ever, because I thought Vicky looked familiar to me. I thought she was one of those girls that grew up to be on like Nickelodeon or something, but her last movie, her last show is that, and no, dude, and The Neighbor, her and the son, neither one of them even have a picture on IMDb. She did some show called Christie, 20 episodes in 94, 95, and a movie before it was a series. Other than that, 1990, 1 episode of The Wonder Years, an after-school special. So this, she was on 1 episode of Elf. This show, somehow, 4 years is on, and everyone's career dies at the end of it. So it's got to be her acting in it. It's got to be, man, because and you don't know if it's acting or if it's intentional.
You know what? You're supposed to go to Epstein Island. We learn these things. If you don't go to Epstein Island, you don't get your careers. Or you're supposed to do something with Harvey Weinstein. What's the theory?
It's more of a question. So, you know the term one-hit wonders, right? It's music mostly, but it's also actors. Like someone's the next big thing, and then they're gone, right? It's kind of like the Jim Powers situation I've been hearing a lot, where he thought someone was ribbing him, but it was Pat Patterson trying to get him to come to his hotel room, and he fucking never worked for the WWE again when he didn't show up. But anyway, one-hit wonders. What if, both in music and movies, television, what if the one-hit wonders are the ones that said no?
That's a great question.
I've listened to One Hit Wonders albums and thought, this is fucking good stuff. Some One Hit Wonders, it's the only good song on the album, right? That happens for sure. But others, like they call Rick Springfield a One Hit Wonder. And I'm like, are you fucking insane? Like, even that album with Jesse's Girl had Don't Talk to Strangers, and then he's got Love Somebody, Human Touch, all this other, being a movie.
Well,
but
it's
one hit wonder.
But it's a one hit because it didn't get to the heights as that one hit. That's all.
But he's still not a one hit wonder. Is someone that's literally, they had one hit, they maybe made one more album that bombed, and they were never heard from again. Dexy's Midnight Runners. Then where the fuck are they now? Probably ordering someone's McDonald's for them. But at the end of the day, what if those dudes and girls are the ones that said, thank you, but no thank you, and they didn't further their career? It would imply that all the other people said yes.
That's right. Like I said, if you take the open invitation from Harvey Weinstein or go to Epstein Island, your career, look at Corey Feldman.
So that's perfect. You bring him up. I absolutely think he's a dirtball piece of shit. Right?
Corey Feldman?
No, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
But when Mira Sorvino is supposed to be this victim of Harvey Weinstein, she's so brave for coming forward. But the reason she did is because she did whatever he asked her to do, and he didn't follow through with a movie. How is she any better? She's not saying I said no and he fired me. She's saying I did shit and he didn't hire me. That makes her a hoe. That doesn't make her a victim.
Well, again, that's the old hook to get the women in bed. You got to say I'm a director.
The biggest piece of shit in Hollywood to me right now is Seth Rogen. He just gets bigger, and he's like a fucking Rolling Stone, just getting bigger as a snowball as it goes. This motherfucker turned his back on James Franco. Do you know what James Franco got canceled for?
Something about text messages to a teenager?
No. He'd be in jail. He would go to the clubs, like all the young, they're called the fucking something pack. I don't know what the fuck they're called, but they're all called something like the Brat Pack of their generation. And he would go to the clubs, and all these bitches would come throw themselves at him. And he just skipped the line and went to the fast checkout lane and said, hey, you guys come home with us and I'll get you in a movie. And he'd do it, and he didn't get him in a movie. So, again, we have girls that agreed to come fuck him to get put in a movie, and then he didn't put him in a movie, so they came forward and said, he told us he'd put us in a movie if he fucked us, and he didn't put us in a movie. And then Seth Rogen wouldn't talk about it, so cancel culture came for him and said, how are you sitting quiet on this? You should be condemning him. Your silence is compliance. So what does he do? Just shits all over James Franco by saying, you're right. I was there. I should have said something. It wasn't right. Do you know what Seth Rogen was doing while James Franco was fucking the hottest chick there?
Getting the leftovers.
Fucking the second hottest chick there because he got overflow. That's what he was doing. And then for him to throw Franco under the bus to save himself, he should have said, hey, these girls knew what was up. That's prostitution. I'm fucking you for a role in the movie. That means you're paying me for my services. They're both bad guys.
When Law and Order SVU changes the dynamic, that's what happens. But
here's the best part. You know who else did at the bar? Who? Every fucking guy ever tells some girl some shit she wants to hear so he can fuck her at home. So based on the James Franco rule, and you know what? If anyone's listening to 178, if he did do some other shit that I'm not privy to, that's the only thing I know about. There was like 2 or 3 girls that came out and said he promised them movie roles. If they banged them, he didn't give them the movie roles. And then a few more came out. So they said they're basically saying he was doing what Weinstein did. No, Weinstein would hire you and tell you to come to his locker room or whatever, the dressing room. And if you didn't do what he did, he threatened to ruin your career. That's a whole lot. He did it to people who already had careers. That is extortion. This dude's just going to a bar telling girls what they want to hear, like every guy at every bar every fucking night. So based on that logic, we're all pieces of shit that fucking lie to women to get them in bed.
Yes, we're all that. So with that being said, let's get back into this episode now, because again, while they are watching Jesse the Body Ventura, sometime a little bit later, something happens. You want to talk about something weird? We're talking about stalkering. we're talking about stalking from a wrestler to a housewife, if you will, Reflectionites, because Jesse the Body Ventura was doing a autograph session in a mall or a shopping center, whatever the case may be, and he notices, the wife, Joan Lawson, and he says he follows her. He follows her to her home. This shit is illegal. I don't care if it's the 80s. I don't care if it's that innocent. But again, it's stalking. It's stalking from Jesse.
He did not.
He did knock, and of course, Vicky opened the door and shut the door in his face and shit like that. And then,
but that's the biggest pop. The biggest pop of the show happens right then.
Right. Who are you and all that stuff. So
no. She shuts the door on him, and then the mom comes in and goes, "Who's there?" And then she repeated the introduction from the show that they started with.
Yeah, she turns into Howard Finkel, Reflectionites. So she introduces Jesse the Body Ventura. So now Jesse has got to now stop being creepy and explain himself to Joan Lawson, Reflectionites. So she doesn't recognize him. So Jesse has to play along and give little hints here and there. So we find out, Reflectionites, that Jesse, his real name was Wally Crendel. I think that was the name. Wally, what he was called. Wally the Whip Crendel. He was a 92-pound weakling in college, and I think he was one of those male cheerleaders that got pity dates from Joni. But there's also a 6 degrees of separation, Reflectionites, because Joni's husband, Ted Lawson, was a bully to Wally, the Wimp. He, put the wet willies. He gave him the Cleveland Steamers, TW. So he did all that stuff to Wally the Wimp. I'm just saying that, when you're a bully, you do a lot of stuff, wet willies, atomic wedgies and Cleveland Steamers, or, and all that stuff. So TW, again, this is a life lesson. So Jesse the Body Ventura, because of being bullied by Ted Lawson, becomes who he is today. He drinks a lot of milk. He took a lot of steroids, and now he's got 20-inch pythons, and now he's a perfect. What? No.
He did none of that. He was reading a comic book, and on the back page, there was the Charles Atlas ad, and he did the Charles Atlas program and got all jacked up naturally.
We know that's a lie. We know.
By the way, he looks really good in this episode. Like you look at him and go, why is he not still wrestling? Right? But I think he also was a hemophiliac. That's the other reason why he couldn't bleed.
Right. But he had the neck issues, and then the hemophilia issues too. So with that being said, TW, again, well, he did the Charles Atlas thing, but again, I say steroids and shit like that. But again, tomatoes, we can agree to disagree and all that stuff.
Right. So
now they try to play a prank on Ted Lawson between Joni and Jesse the Body Ventura. See, this is what happens with women. Y'all women are sneaky. Again, we can move on with this. We can, enjoy ourselves. You could tell the truth, be honest. But now you want to play a prank on your husband. But again, neither here nor there. That's just me. That's my life lesson here. But again, they want to play a prank on Ted. So Joni only tells Ted that, their former college buddy, Wally the Wimp, is going to come over for dinner. So Ted Lawson is becoming the devil. Like, I got all these pranks. Now he wants to relive his prank days in college, TW. So you know what? He wants to do the wet willies. He wants to do the Cleveland Steamers. He wants to do some kind of duck prank. It's a sexual thing. How the hell you get a duck?
Right. And how to stay quiet?
Yeah. And again, this is what I hate to say this, TW, but I have to say it. But how do white people just go out and just get a duck for no reason, just for a prank? They're in fucking small town America. But again, I'm just going with the obvious. I'm being critical. I think I'm nitpicky because of the duck. What say you, TW, about all this?
It's first of all, the dad comes across as the dude that all the pranks would be done to. That's first. But
he was the bully.
He must have been an athlete and then just all of a sudden started pulling his pants up to his belly button like you when you got older. But he and here's the other problem. When he opens the door and sees Jesse, he's a foot taller. So even at skinny, how's he getting shoved around and flag pulled and all that? So you got to suspend disbelief. But it makes for this. I can't believe I didn't leave with it. This is absolutely worth watching, but I don't know that you're going to then fucking binge watch the series. Like you said, it gets tough by the end, but it was like, it's just a clean, wholesome family show. Reminds me like Happy Days was a little heavier. This is just fluff. There's nothing heavy about it. Maybe other episodes get heavy, but it kind of reminds me, and sometimes there was like messages in but it reminds me of like the Charles in Charge or Out of This World or Malcolm and Eddie was kind of like this. It was just Martin, just fun, wholesome. And Martin is obviously a little bit different. It's not cheese, it's whatever. But you don't watch it and feel like an asshole when it ends. You feel like that was good. I want to watch some more of that, you know? So this and they do a lot of milking the lines, going back to stuff, and the wife. The only thing I did have an issue with is I'm like, they might as well say it at the end credits that the wife ended up leaving the husband for Jesse Ventura because she's basically getting wet looking at him going, you've changed so much. And it's like, what a hoe. Just she's hoeing it up and then sets her husband up.
And if I want to be a little bit more critical, TW, the robot girl aged. I mean, we're talking about 80s technology and she ages. This is not Terminator reflection. Again, I'm trying to be serious here.
But,
she cannot
to be fair, there is one line at the end of the episode where he wins Jesse back over and he says, I'm trying to keep her a secret until I perfect her. So they could have easily have just written in the script that he aged her as he's trying to perfect her.
Well, they should try it.
Think about it. You can't hide her if she never changes.
Right. That's what I'm just saying.
She's the same for the whole 4 years. And be like, what the fuck's going on over here? What kind of fucking tiger blood you guys drinking?
That's what I'm talking about. But again, it's white people's thing. It's always about white people. But again, with that being said, Ted Lawson
they could have just done the Cosbys. They could have got rid of Rudy and brought in Raven Simone instead.
I thought you meant the Winslows, like bring her up to the stairs and then forget about they had a daughter.
That's the sister that went on to do porn. I think she's dead too.
No, she's alive, but
I thought one of the girls in that died.
No, that's the Myra. Myra died, but she had cancer.
Oh, damn.
So with that being said, Ted Lawson is ready to prank Wally the Wimp because he thinks he's 92.
Greatest country.
America's greatest country. Oh, okay. Good stuff. But anyway, he's ready to prank him. But then once he opens the door, because Ted and Vicky are ready to prank Wally the Wimp, but Ted did not know that Wally the Wimp is actually Jesse the Body Ventura. And now he's presenting, Ted's wife with flowers and shit. Again, I'm just saying, like you said, she was wet because of Jesse. Jesse got her flowers. Jesse was attentive and all that stuff.
And gave her flowers right in front of his ass as he fronted him when he walked by, like, do something about it.
Ted turned into the cuck. That's what it was.
Yes, he did.
And all that stuff. So with that being said, Ted had to step back with all the pranks. But again, Vicky did not get that memo. So she shocks Jesse Ventura with a buzzer and shit like that.
Nice sell job by Jesse.
Nice sell job. And then Jamie, he was wet too. I think he came in his pants because he got to shake Jesse the Body Ventura's hands. So,
and
they lived. Yeah, well, he survived Epstein Island and all that stuff. So with that being said, as much as Ted was trying to go along with this and trying to stop Vicky from doing anything different, well, one of those pranks got Jesse a little bit hot. So he had to put, Ted Lawson in a headlock. So TW, we got a wrestling hold. We got some wrestling holds in Small Wonder. So what say you about,
we didn't just get a wrestling hold. We got chain wrestling. We got a chin lock turn into a choke with the joke of, isn't that illegal? And I thought he was going to say, only if you get caught. But he goes, only if he dies. And then the wife says, I think it's really close to becoming illegal. Like her husband's going to die. He goes, but the easy part is it takes him right into the flying mare, which is a snap mare. And he snap mared him onto this open. It was chain wrestling. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero would have been proud.
Dave Meltzer would have gave this 4.5 stars. So, it was chain wrestling. This was Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland and all that stuff. Reflection. So, well, he did know. Look at this picture. He sold.
Yeah,
he's selling. His eyes
makes it now Will Ospreay and Swerve.
So you know what? That took a star off. It's now from 4.5 stars. It's 3.5 stars. So with that being said, of course, Jesse then learns No, actually, no. It was actually VICKI who did the wham bam body slam on Jesse the Body Ventura, and then all those years of supposedly Charles Atlas, as TW wants to eloquently say, all those years of steroid use, and now Jesse has come to a Jesus moment. He's almost going to quit the wrestling business because an 11-year-old girl, TW, took him down and
beat him on him. And
did his finish on him. So TW psychologically, let me ask you this as the wrestler, because there's this old adage of, if a regular Joe beats a wrestler at the bar, Bill Watts said that he fired you. He would, throw you out of the territories because you embarrassed the wrestling industry. So technically, Jesse is doing old school. He got embarrassed by a regular, civilian, if you will. He's going to take himself out of wrestling. Is that the truest form of the business itself, keeping a kayfabe like that?
It destroyed his confidence. Yeah, he can't be letting nobody know that. You just hit a sore spot with me. You just made me remember the Bo James story, but you went somewhere else with it. You're saying if you got beat up at the bar by a local, Bill Watts sent you out of there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good reason to not get in a fight at the bar then. One more. I don't want to fight in the bar. Motherfuckers will stab you with broken beer bottles. Who wants to fight? Especially in the South.
No,
but I told you what Bo James did to me, right?
But who's Bo James? I don't even remember that name.
He teamed with Manny Fernandez versus me and Mike Legacy. I've never told you that story.
You've talked about the Manny Fernandez part. I don't know about the Bo James part.
So Bo James came in the ring after Manny took liberties on me, and I no-sold his chem clutch. He tagged in Bo James, who came in, and I did a shoot small package on him and told Jeff Kavanaugh to count it. And it was the longest 2.5 seconds of my life. And on one, Jeff looks at me like, what are you doing? I go, count it. 2, it was the third day, so we could just roll out. And right in the middle of 2 and 3, Bo James says to me in this small package that his fat ass could not get out of because it was a shoot. He said, I got a family to feed. Like losing to me was going to end his career. And it made me snap out of my anger. I go, what the fuck did you say? And I let him go. And just I couldn't get past it from that point on. I couldn't stop thinking about this fucking guy.
He played your emotions. He played with your emotions. Oh my God.
And Johnny Swinger told me, he's like, dude, if you would have held that, he goes, Manny Fernandez would have got you blackballed. You'd have never sit down here anywhere. And I'm like,
so you did the right thing. That was it.
Let him go.
Oh, so Manny was proud of you.
When he pinned me, Manny Fernandez held me for the demolition finish, and fat ass Bo James did the elbow at the second rope. And my prayer was simple: God, this is probably gonna hurt, but just please let me be able to walk out of here. That's all I asked for. I can take the pain, but just don't let it be anything permanent. And they hit me light as a feather, and I wrestled in that basketball outfit and no-sold Manny Fernandez. I sandbagged him, so he had to hold me by my jersey and my shorts, because I just dead weighted him, and he held me like a puppet. And to his credit, he never got mad at me, never talked shit to me in the back, Manny Fernandez. But when Bo James hit the elbow, I landed next to the ropes like Gunther, and he pinned me. And on one, he was on top of me. And then he eased up and put his finger on my chest. And I looked down at the finger, I looked back at him, I go, you motherfucker. So right at 3, I put my foot on the rope. He turns around. I sit up and go, hey, my foot was on the rope. And then me and Legacy looked at each other and went, ah, and then ran around dancing like the New Rockers and then left. So that they look like assholes, like I no-sold their finish. And then we get in the back and Swinger goes, whatever you do, man, don't leave here without shaking Manny's hand. I go, dude, I'll shake his hand, but it ain't going to be anytime soon. I go, I would have fought both of them if they would have came over talking shit.
Well, they
that was the day your boy Mo went on a Michigan, or Oscar. Who's the manager? Oscar? Oscar come into the locker room. This is in Cleveland. Edge was there, Swinger, Joey Legend, me, Jeff, Legacy, and Larry. And he come in there, and he tried getting all of us to give him $250 to buy a passport because he was going to take us all on an overseas tour. The second that guy said, I just need $250, it was like the roaches with the light on. Everyone turned and went the other way. But that was my one and only meeting with Oscar from Men on a Mission.
All right. So, they play with your emotions, and it does work, Reflection Eyes. That's all that matters. If they play with your emotions. So Jesse's emotions was played because
almost
VICKI,
30 years later, you still don't know who Bo James is. So obviously I didn't kill his career because he never got one.
There you go. So with that being said, Jesse almost quits the business, Reflectionites, and it took Ted Lawson to, he had to come to Jesus. But he did a TW. He just said, wait a minute, Jesse. Let me be real here. Vicky is not a human being. Vicky is a robot that I created. And like you said, TW, I'm perfecting her. Shows Jesse, a dark secret because, again, not a lot of people knew. Jesse was one of the first people who knew this secret of this family. So, with that being said, Jesse, felt relief so he could still continue his passion of wrestling. They hugged it out and then all that stuff. And of course, they ended Reflectionites. Do you remember about the duck? White people with ducks. Well, the duck was in the bathroom and then there was an explosion. And of course, Ted Lawson forgot about the duck prank, which we don't even know what the hell. I don't understand how a duck is involved.
Like it was sexual, and then she cut him off.
First of all, we heard an explosion, and the duck was fine. I don't understand
he didn't have
how
dust on him.
Right, the duck had nothing on him. I'm just saying I don't get the duck an explosion. Hardly any feathers. But again, neither here nor there. That's just me nitpicking here. So with that being said, TW, any closing thoughts about this?
Hold on. Did you gloss over Jesse scooped him up and laid down for him so his kid would be his hero
I did gloss over because again, like you said, it's like a teachable moment. So so this way, in Jamie's eyes, that his father is still his hero to a certain extent. So I glossed him.
They worked him. Yeah. He basically blew the fourth wall on wrestling by laying down for him without him even knowing. The dad didn't even know what he was doing.
And Vicky was the referee counting the 1, 2, 3. So it's the circle of life here. So with that being said, TW, anything I missed? Again, the Harriet part of it where she was on the door trying to, overhear the conversation. Yeah, that was okay. But Harriet, does Harriet at least look better? Was there any pictures of her in her 40s? Does she look,
Dude, her and Jamie do not even have a picture at all on IMDb. It's the last thing they ever did was that show. And they're both still alive. She's older than me. He's 6 months, a year and 6 months younger than me. She's 4 months older than me.
4 months older than you. So
and they're both still alive according to IMDb, unless no one knows where they're at and they just don't know if they're alive or dead.
Harriet's like the ugly duckling syndrome. Maybe
she looks like a Chucky doll with long hair.
Oh God! So then, she's not fuckable. But anyway, neither here nor there. So, with that being said, TW, you even said it yourself that this was an episode. If you're a wrestling fan, you can rewatch this, but you cannot binge a Small Wonder season. So, what's your closing thoughts about Small Wonder?
Jesse handled himself well. Neither one of us, it didn't come across as bad acts. Felt like I was watching Jesse Ventura. And everything, even his little Rashba Shimbuba. All that, everything, it was Jesse the wrestler, then it was Jesse the human being. Like, he did really, really well here.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was Wally, so, he wasn't Jesse, he was Wally, so he was wrong. Wally Crendel, the Wimp. So, with that being said, we close on this PWR at the Movies special here at the HAMIN Media Group at PowerBeam.com. What are we going to do next time? I'll keep you on your toes because, you know what? Because we are you're going to see this episode drop in a couple of days, Reflectionites, on the YouTube channel. But the audio Reflectionites, this will be happening on July 4th weekend. I'm going to give TW a present. Since he will be drunk on July 4th and July 5th and July 6th, I will give you, and the 7th, I will give TW a week reprieve, and we'll be back in 2 weeks, stronger than ever. So this way, TW can celebrate the 250th birthday of America.
And my birthday.
And, oh my God, we might have to go 3 weeks. I don't know. We'll see. But with that being said, we're going to have a week off. Maybe we'll be back in 2 weeks, depending on TW's birthday special. But
Tuesday. It's good. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Oh, we'll be back in 2 weeks. So with that being said, TW, give out those socials so we can get out of here.
But I have one question first.
Go ahead.
What is Bully Ray welcome for?
Oh, that was for the wreckage. He stole content from us.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
He did?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's good. You can't sue him because then you just get both of your YouTube shut down.
It was like 6 months worth of stuff I said on the wreckage. Bully Ray said it in 1 week.
Oh. All right. So you can follow us by following the Pro Wrestling Coalition Network at PWC Network at podbean.com, where you can also find HAMIN Media Group at podbean.com. Our X is at PW Reflection. You can find Big Ray all over the internet at Big Ray Hernandez, and every Wednesday live with the Next Level podcast on YouTube. I guess it's a video cast, not a podcast. You can find me on Instagram and X at Tommy Wonder 19, Snapchat's Number Wonder, Facebook.com/Tommy Wonder. My TikTok, you don't stop, is at the Tommy Wonder. And you can find Big Vito and Noel at the Big Vito brand on TikTok.
And like I said, tell a friend to find the YouTube channel at Pro Wrestling Reflection. 176 subscribers, 24 away from the elusive 200. Follow me on the Twitter at PWSOPRF. That's PWSOProf. Follow me on the Blue Sky at PWSOPRF.bsky.social. And follow me on the HAMIN Media Group at YouTube, where I co-host with the Vet and Jimmy T everything about AEW and everything that Bully Ray stole from me on The Wreckage every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and I'll keep you on your toes. With that being said, I'm the Professor. That's Mr. Wonderful, the Solo Idiot, and the undisputed, undeniable Detroit Rock City Universal Heavyweight Champion of the World, Tommy Wonder saying good night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks here at the PWR podcast at the HAMIN Media Group at podbean.com. Peace.
USA, USA.
Jesse never said that.
It's World Cup, buddy.
Oh, okay. I was just saying.